How everybody out there in YouTube world? This is the Information Man back on the YouTube channel again. I wanted to get some things off of my mind. As you've heard, just last Friday, I almost missed this one. Federico Wilson, the Congress lady from Florida, who has a connection with the family of the fallen soldier, Sergeant Johnson, who's very close with the family, who spoke out as it relates to the disrespect of Donald Trump. Spoke out. She stood up. She spoke her mind, expressed herself, and she spoke truth to power. She did what most of us need to do. Get up off our asses and always speak truth to power. And as a result of that, as a result of her speaking truth to power, speaking her mind as a congresswoman, speaking her mind as a friend, as a mentor to the family, someone that was a mentor to the fallen soldier, Sergeant Johnson, she's now receiving the most despicable, what I would call, these are cowards. She's receiving death threats by people who are criticizing her. And it's the usual suspects. As usual, it's the white supremacists. They're basically trying to define what she can say, how she says it, when she says it, how she feels about it. Trying to define how she should feel, what she should express. You see, black people, let me talk to you out. Let me talk to all people out there. When we stand up and try to fight for injustice that's coming towards us, that we're dealing with every day in this society, everybody is trying to tell us how we should express ourselves. Everybody is trying to tell us that we shouldn't talk about racism. We shouldn't talk about the byproduct of racism, which is white supremacy. That we shouldn't express how we feel. We shouldn't protest. We shouldn't stand up against oppression or any mistreatment of non-white people. The minute we do that, there's pushback that says, you can't do that. You need to stay in your place. You need to stay on the plantation and just be a good you-know-what. Just be a good end. And y'all get. And y'all get. That's the attitude. And so now Mrs. Federico Wilson is experiencing the pushback from the usual suspect, which are the white supremacists, that are now making threats on her life, talking about her like a dog, talking about her head, making fun of her. But see, in this society, because there's no value on black life, as you see black men and black women get shot by cops unarmed and nobody cares, there's no value on our life in American society. So therefore, nobody really gives a damn about a black woman who is a Congress lady getting threatened just because she decided to speak out in behalf of the family, which she has a relationship with. You had this despicable individual, Mr. Bill Handel of the Bill Handel Show in Los Angeles, California. Okay? KFI AM 640 in Los Angeles, California. KFI 640 AM in Los Angeles, California, Bill Handel. This is the same radio station in Los Angeles that after Whitney Houston, the great, late Whitney Houston, passed away, they had the nerve to be disrespectful by calling her a crack whore. They called her a crack whore. This is the same radio station that made these statements back when Whitney Houston passed away. 6:40 AM in Los Angeles, KFI. I'm calling out for everybody on YouTube, everybody that's listening, to give this station some pushback. Call them up. Let them know how you feel about one Bill Handel and his white supremacy, their disrespect. They're trying to tell us what to do, how to feel. See, let me play something for you. Because in American society, we're getting very confused about how this all works. Listen here.
You do not understand white supremacy, which is racism, what it is. You do not understand white supremacy, which is racism. You do not understand white supremacy, which is racism, what it is, and how it works. Everything else that you understand will only confuse you. Only confuse you. That you understand will only confuse you. Only confuse you. Only confuse you.
Now that's Neely Fuller. And he's basically saying, if you do not understand racism, how it works, how it operates, you have to understand white supremacy. Let me preface what I'm saying now. You have to understand how white supremacy works, how it operates. And if you do not understand how white supremacy operates in this system we call American society, or this system we call America, what you think you know or believe you know or feel you know about the term racism will only confuse you. Only confuse you.
You do not understand white supremacy, which is racism, what it is, and how it works. Everything else that you understand will only confuse you.
So keep that in mind. We must understand the construct of how white supremacy works in order to understand the system of racism, which is a part of the system of white supremacy. And so what you had with what's going on with Miss Federico Wilson is that she is getting the pushback of the racism of American society that says, as a black woman, you're supposed to stay in your place. As a black man, stay in your place. You're supposed to do what we do because you're our property. We tell you what to do. You don't tell us what to do. So that's why she's experiencing this pushback. And I want to play for you an audio from Bill Handel of the Bill Handel Show, 6:40 a.m. in Los Angeles, KFI. Folks, we should protest this radio station. You should call them up and give them a piece of your mind about this Bill Handel, because I'm going to play you what he did, what he said about Mrs. Federico Wilson, Congress Lady of Florida. I'm going to play this for you. You got to listen to this.
It was a Democratic congresswoman, by the way, the same congresswoman who didn't refuse to attend Trump's inauguration. Look, she overheard that conversation and she got, oh, this is great. I will score political points by going on MSNBC and becoming somebody. That bill is disgusting. Yeah, totally disgusting. And I'm far more upset with her because that is a cheap affectation.
That's the Bill Handel talking of 6:40 a.m. KFI and Los Angeles.
She's a cheap, sleazy, Democrat whore.
He calls her a cheap, sleazy Democrat whore. I'm going to play that again.
What in the world? She's a cheap, sleazy, Democrat whore. She's a cheap, sleazy, Democrat whore.
So he calls her a cheap, sleazy Democrat whore. And a lot of times when these white supremacists, what they do nowadays, when they want to show their racism, they'll turn around and say, oh, I was just joking. I didn't mean anything by it. Oh, you're being sensitive. Once again, when we speak to issues that impact us as a people, we're being told, oh, you're being too sensitive. Oh, come on, I was just joking. I'm a radio host, what have you. Bill Handel is a disgusting individual, a racist individual. This is what this is all about. There's no way in hell that Mrs. Federico Wilson should be getting death threats just because she spoke out. And this is what happens to most black people when they speak truth to power. Once again, listen to this.
The cheap, sleazy, Democrat whore is what she is. Okay, oh no, excuse me, I'm being too generous.
Democrat whore is what he called her.
I would say she's a sleazy politician, but
I would add the word whore. There's a few other words I can throw in there, but I want to stay working here.
So what you got there is Bill Handel And when he was confronted about this situation that happened on Friday, this happened on Friday the 20th. Friday the 20th, which was last week. When he was confronted about this, he tried to rebut, and and then he just digged in even deeper. Then he started talking about her hat, and she's wearing these little funny cowboy hats. When in fact, if you do research, she wears the hats, the different cowboy hats. It's a tradition. She's been wearing them a long time in honor of her late great grandmother. And that's why she wears the hats. But once again, when black people stand up, speak their mind, talk about the things that affect them, the first thing they want to do is they want to attack our character. They want to attack our race. They want to attack what we wear, what we think, our values. They want to attack them. And like I've said on the other videos, it seems like in today's time, people want to make lies truth and the truth the lies. Makes no sense to me. So what I think that we need to do as a people is we need to protest this particular radio host, Bill Handel of the KFI 640 morning show in Los Angeles. We should give him a piece of our mind. Everybody should call, give a piece of their mind. Don't support the radio station. Ask for his firing, because the guy has a history. He's despicable, disrespectful, and I'm sorry. I think right now as black people, we can't take any mess off of anybody. I'm sorry. There's other groups don't put up with this when people insult their culture. So I don't think we should accept it. You're gonna have people out there talking about, oh, you're being too sensitive. Oh, come on, you're being politically correct. Bullshit. Black people are at a point where we need to get to a point of our code of conduct, our code of ethics, how we think, how we function. We're not gonna be anybody's lapdog, whooping boy, whatever you want to call it. You ain't gonna just talk about us, disrespect our people, and think we just gonna take it laying down. Bullshit. Now, one of the reasons why this happens to us in this society, like I said again, is white supremacy and understanding how that operates. Now, once again, Neely Fully says this again.
You do not understand white supremacy, which is racism, what it is, and how it works. Everything else that you understand will only confuse you. You do not understand white supremacy, which is racism, what it is.
Now, I'm going to stop that there, and Neely Fuller is going to give a nice little breakdown where from which that part goes, but he's going to get a little bit more detail into the system. I want you to listen up, because this is what we as African Americans, black people, Moors, melanated people, this is what we deal with in this society when we speak up. This is why when you see the football players in the NFL standing up for something, everybody's telling them just to play football. They don't care about who they are as humans. Okay? They want to confuse the issues with patriotism to the flag. Yet we got a fallen soldier, and Sergeant Johnson, who was a fallen soldier fighting for this country of the highest patriotism. He dies mysteriously. The military doesn't want to tell the wife exactly what the hell's going on or let her see the body. You got Donald Trump playing political footsies and playing all these sort of games. This is what you get in a society of this construct. And I'm going to break it down with Neely Fuller, letting you know how it works.
On the planet are subject to a prison system, a bogus prison system, a prison system that should not exist, called the system of white supremacy. That is a prison for people of color. And the people of color have to do what the prison masters say. That's what supremacy means. And
listen,
that supremacy is designed to do two things: dominate and mistreat. That's the purpose of it. Dominate and mistreat people of color. So therefore, you never expect anything to happen that should happen in that system, when the system is designed for things to continue to happen. That should not happen. That wasn't the original.
So in the system of white supremacy, once again, it's about treating people that are non-white with no justice, mistreating them, treating them poorly, which is what you have. And if you notice, Donald Trump has a pattern. Donald Trump, the so-called president of this country, he has a pattern in particularly of always fucking with people of color, black folks in particular, disrespecting black women, disrespecting black men. He has a hard-on for President Obama. If you notice, ever since he got in office, he's obsessed with always comparing himself to Obama. Well, I did this better than the other administration. You know, even when he lied and said he's been making phone calls to fallen soldiers, and he's asking questions about, did President Obama call fallen soldiers? So Donald Trump is very obsessed with people, with effing with people of color, and he's got this complex issue as it relates to President Obama. Like, he wants to wipe out everything that President Obama has accomplished within his presidency. And once again, same thing when it comes to the everyday person. Every time we stand up for what we believe in, people want to always fuck with us, tell us what to do, how to think. And I'm telling you now, that ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna happen. We gotta stand up, people. And this piece of garbage, Bill Handel, the radio host in Los Angeles on KFI 640 AM, we need to call that radio show. We need to let them know we're not pleased with his racism, his miscaricature of Mrs. Federico Wilson. We need to let them know. We gotta get tired. When are we tired of people effing with us? I'm gonna go on with the rest of what Neely Fuller Jr. says here.
System that was set up in the world, presumably. You could presume that at one time people didn't mistreat people, but people found out all kinds of ways to mistreat people. And it just so happens in 2017, the dominant way of mistreating people on the planet called Earth is through a system called racism, which we sometimes call white supremacy. And that happens to be the latest one. Yes, and the most powerful one. Yes, sir. So therefore, you suspect anything that happens
That's
in
right.
the system
Anything
that shouldn't happen. Okay. The suspect should be who? The most powerful people. And who are they? Those white people who believe in and who practice the system of white supremacy on the planet are subject.
So the people who practice and believe in white supremacy, which is based on a strong belief backed up by action, and that action is executing control, power, and authority over those that you see that are subordinate to you. In the case of Federico Wilson, she speaks her mind, and you've got white folks and everybody and their mama trying to tell her how she should think, what she should speak when it comes to the family, what she has an intimate relationship with. That's the crazy thing about it. So folks, just keep that in mind. This guy, Bill Handel of KFI AM 640 radio show in LA, is a despicable individual. This is the same radio station that has a history of talking very disrespectfully about the late, great Whitney Houston, calling her a crack whore, and all sort of disparaging words. In this case with Mrs. Wilson, the Congress lady, they disrespected her about her hat, making fun of her, trying to tell her not to speak out. And as we know, and we've been hearing through reports, there's been death threats on her life. This is part of white supremacy. I'm going to play this last segment for you by Neely Fuller Jr.
Having to do with black people, the white supremacists are involved. I mean, otherwise there would be no such thing as white supremacy.
That's right.
You know, if black people were just walking around, I mean, with nothing affecting them, you know, in economics, in education, in entertainment, and in the 9 areas of activity, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, war. If black people weren't affected by the system of white supremacy, there would be no point in talking about white supremacy.
Exactly.
So the hypothesis is, the conclusion has to be based on logic and evidence. Everything that black people do, every move that they make anywhere on this planet called Earth,
supremacy.
That's what it's designed to do. Dominate all of the affairs of people classified as non-white.
That's right.
The white supremacists have something to do with it, whether it's a plus or a minus, because the white supremacists decide what the pluses and minuses are in the existence, the entire existence,
That's right.
not just some of it, of every black person on this planet, either directly or indirectly.
That's right.
In every area of activity, without exception.
Every area of activity.
If you start talking about black economics and whatnot, and what, you know, where they're located on the planet, what so-called country and all like that.
Mm-hmm.
The white supremacists control all of that. Mm-hmm. All of it. Not some of it.
All of it. They control everything. So anytime anything happens in this society, we as black people, we don't control this society. We don't control the economics, the social, the war. We don't manipulate any of this stuff. We do get manipulated by it. So I'm asking everybody who's listening to this video, definitely let Bill Handel of 6:40 a.m. in Los Angeles morning show, KFI. Bill Handel is his name. Let them know how you feel, that we're not going to take the disrespect of black people by these white supremacists out here who want to change the narrative and also tell us how to think, how to be, how to live, what we should damn protest, and how we should feel about racism and how it operates in this society. So let's wake up, folks. And with that, I'm going to leave you with this once more. Here we go. Once more, leave you with this.
You do not understand white supremacy, which is racism, what it is, and how it works. Everything else that you understand will only confuse you.
It will only confuse you if you don't understand the system. With that said, thank you for your time, folks out there in YouTube world. I hope I got the message out. And from my perspective, I know there's many other people out there in the media that have talked about this issue, but I just wanted to add my part to it because we as a people have to stand up, and we can't take mistreatment, disrespect of our leaders, our civil leaders, our religious leaders, if they are doing the right things that is benefiting us as a people. This is the Information Man.